Hey, good morning everybody, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where in the world you are. This is Jim from Jim's Holiest Coleus, and I just want to shoot out a video. I promised I'd do a video on how I collect my seeds from all my Coleus plants. Here's a couple I brought in. This is a Defiance Coleus. This is a new one I got from last year, and it's a beautiful, striking plant. Now again, here I'm in New Jersey, United States, so it is now the late fall or early winter, late fall, or really just the beginning of fall, I should say. But it's time to bring in. I brought in all the Coleus that I wanted to save. So I have some rootings. Here's a Defiance rooting that started developing a seed pod. Now, there's no honeybees inside my house to help pollinate these, but it will develop. But I have so many. I have thousands of Defiance Coleus seeds. There's like 10 stalks here, or 12 stalks, and there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of seeds. I have some really. I got a lot of seed stalks. I was really excited because I love that plant. As opposed to my black stockings, I did some videos on. If you look through some of my older videos, I had a black stockings Coleus, which over the past 3 years I've had the mother plant, and it just refuses to develop seed stalks. But now, for the first time in the 3 years, the mother plant, which I'm going to show you really quickly, has just started to develop a seed stalk, a small seed stalk. But again, I don't have any bumblebees in here to pollinate it, so I don't know how well it's going to develop, but I'm going to let it. I might root this and see if it maybe develops a little better. But it's a very small seed stalk, finally. So I'm really tempted. I think I'm definitely going to cut this stem and root it in water and see what I can do to get seeds from that, because I really love the plant. And it's just so many years. It just I keep overwintering the plant, and yeah, it does fine. It looks like hell now because it really when you bring your Coleus in, some Coleuses you could bring in your pots and they'll do fine. There's other ones they'll really start to fall, they'll molt. So there's nothing wrong with that. Let me get rid of this here. Okay. So anyway, that's that. So on to my video. Basically, if you followed me over the time and you've checked out my other videos, I've given you instructions on how what to do with your Coleus as they develop into fall, and how to prepare to get your seeds. Again, by cutting the seed stalks. Now here's an example of, it really doesn't matter what type of Coleus, all your Coleus, no matter what variation it is, will develop seed stalks that look like this. Let me see if I can get this to focus. But anyway, that's your seed stalk. Now I cut these off a month and a half, and again I put it in a cool, dry place. It doesn't matter if it's really sunny, but to dry them out completely. You want your Coleus seed stalks to be completely dry. Let them sit for weeks or a month or so. At this point, if you've been following along, I'm going to just assume that you're at the same point as I am. You have seed stalks ready to go. I put them in these aluminum trays I get at the dollar store. You can use basically anything. I don't store the seed stalks in Ziploc bags, not the seed stalks, because your organic matter, all the greenery that was still on here, if you put them in a Ziploc bag, the moisture is going to evaporate in the bag, and then you're going to get mold. So you don't want to do that. You want to keep them out in the open and let them dry out completely, because the drier, the better, because you're going to see the seeds just fall out, and you're going to minimize, once they dry out like this, they're completely dehydrated. There's very, very little bit of plant matter, and the less plant matter you have mixed in with your seeds, once you separate as much of the seeds you can, I'm going to show you how to do that, because I store them in Ziploc bags and you don't have to worry about mold. And that's a big thing, you know. But if you're a homeowner and you just want some seeds for your property or to plant and plants over, then you don't need hundreds or thousands of seeds. I don't need thousands and thousands of seeds, but I do need, you know, I do plant, you know, several hundred every year. So I do have many, many seeds. And I found over the years, some of the older seeds, some of the plants, they all come from a similar mother plant. They seem to mutate. If there's any, I'm not a horticultural expert. I have no horticultural background. I'm a criminal justice major with a little business in there. And this is just a developed hobby that I've developed over the past 8 years or so. But I found that a few of seeds from certain Coleus I have, example, one of my favorites, a Kong. I have a bunch of seeds from the same mother plant that I planted, and over each year it seems like some of them, they changed color or their patterns, variations changed. They seem like they mutated a little bit. So is anybody with a horticultural background that maybe can help me out? I appreciate you. Maybe explain that to me. Maybe I know there's all different variations, weather, temperature, water, nutrients, soil type, and stuff like that. I'm sure must all go into play on how your plant develops. How much, if you use Miracle-Gro, Miracle, how much Miracle-Gro acidity in your soil. I'm sure I have some kind of I do some studying on it, but I imagine that must have something to do with how certain plants develop, or maybe how some of the seeds develop, or how the plants, why some plants seem to have a little different pattern or coloring and so forth. So, but a Kong is a Kong. You know, I'm not going to take this is Defiance Coleus seeds. When you know, when I plant this seed stock, the seeds from this, I would expect that Defiance Coleus will grow next year. So I'm not going to expect, I'm not going to plant Defiance Coleus seeds and have Kongs or Jitters or whatever grow. So, but I have a couple of indoor plants that I keep. Again, when you keep them indoors, I keep them. I have a nice bay window. It gets lots of sunlight. They're gonna start to change. They're not gonna look as pretty and vibrant over the winter. Again, I'm in New Jersey, United States. They're going to look, I trim them down. I keep them trimmed. I get rid of a lot of the larger, older leaves. That just keeps the nutrient, you know, keeps the plant, you know, it just keeps the nutrients and so forth. It doesn't have that big plant that it has to take care of. And, you know, just keep it alive until spring, and then you're going to have yourself a nice plant once the season starts rolling. And so, all right, another thing I use, here's a couple of things that, this is really all you need to get your seeds from here. You get a colander, one of the fine colanders. You get them at any store. I guess this is standard to gauge here, but is I imagine you can, I've never tried it, but you can use window screening. I think that's a little finer than this. This almost looks like this. I mean, it's stronger. But anyway, I use the colander because it seems like it's easier, it has the handle and so forth. White paper plates, because the Coleus seeds look like poppy seeds. They're just a lot smaller, and against the white paper plate, and they're round, they roll, so it's not hard to figure out when they come out of the seed stalks, when you're separating, which I'm going to show. It's not going to be hard to find, hey, these are my seeds. And again, once I separate everything and I get it where I know those are my seeds I want, I take Ziploc bags, I write on it with a permanent marker, Defiance Coleus 2018, so I know how old they are. So, okay, let's get started. Again, I got my colander. I'm going to take a Defiance Coleus stalk. Now, this is a big stalk. I got hundreds of them. I mean, I got about a dozen stalks. You don't have to take the whole thing. But for purpose of the video, I'm just going to cut it in half. And you can do is just gently run your finger down and strip away all the seed pods. And I just throw the stalk back in there. Okay, now let's get this camera down here so we can see a little better. What I'm going to do now is gently run my finger around, and this is going to release the seeds from the little seed pods. And you're going to have a lot of debris, plant debris, the pods, the little cradles that the seeds were in, inside here. And some of it is going to go through onto the plate, and that's the organic matter that I'm telling you about. But at this point, because your seed pods are very dry, you're not going to get too much. Every seed pod's a little different. So that's about that. And I'll just shake off the rest here. Let's get a little closer video here. All right, so now you can see all the seeds. Now again, what I do is I got a second paper plate here. What I do is I fold it. Let's get a little closer here. I fold it and I tap it and I roll. I just let them roll onto the other plate. Or I'll hop it like this. And you do that as many times as you can, because that'll keep some of the debris out. And you're going to get some of it. You can't get all. You can't get just pure seeds. And I'll just keep kind of playing it back and forth. I'll get them all together as much as I can in the back. I just play with it and try to separate as many of the seeds. I'll tap the plate. I'll tap the plate, and you'll see them fall out. And you'll see them fall out from the debris. And I'll just run my finger over here to release more. And you just do that a few times until you get as many seeds, as many of the separate seeds. And you can see they're very round, jet black seeds. Okay, so you do that. Again, take your time. I mean, it depends. If you have like 10 or 12 different Coleus plants, you don't want to, unless it doesn't make a difference to you. If you want to mix all your Coleus seeds, you can. If you have 4 Coleus plants and you love them all, and you don't really care, when you want to plant them around your, now I suggest that you start your plants indoors. And that's a video that I'll do later on. I use Jiffy seed pods in the trays. You can get them at your plant stores, horticultural stores, Home Depot, Lowe's. I get them on Amazon. I buy them bulk. I have the trays, and I buy the pods by bulk. So I have hundreds of pods. Anyway, I use those. I recommend you start them indoors. I'm in New Jersey again. We're Zone 5. Zones. That's just a technical thing, but I start my plants each year on Christmas Day, and that's a Jim's Holiest of Coleus specialty. That's why my plants are special, because I grow them. I start them on Christmas Day, and I start them that early because I have them indoors. I keep the seed trays indoors, and by April, May, they're pretty well established. Smaller plants indoors, and then I move them out to my greenhouse. And again, I have lots of videos on how I do that. But purpose of this video again was to help those of you out there who have been following me how to take your seeds, your seed pods, and how the easiest way to separate your seeds and get them ready to plant. Can you, if say you're in New York and you're following me, or Minnesota, you're following me, can you plant these right now? I've never tried planting Coleus in November. I imagine it's just a month, it won't matter. But for my purposes, if you're going to plant just a few, Coleus seeds, the temperature needs to be around 70. If you keep your house cool, 65, 66, then you may not have any luck on that. Coleus, the ideal temperature is the warmth and the light and so forth. Again, Coleus like a lot of light. They're shade-loving plants, but for the most part, a bright location. Doesn't need to be direct sun, but they like bright sun, like a greenhouse with a shade top. It still gets all that light. Coleus like light. So if you're overwintering your Coleus, you have a nice bright sunny bay window. That's where you want to put your Coleus. Or if you have a sunroom that gets that bright light from all directions shining down. Doesn't have to, well, winter sun is not strong, but that's ideal. The Coleus love that. They love a nice, bright, airy location. So, I hope that helps out, and looking forward to my next video. I'll shoot one, or when I get my seed pods together, I'll show you how I set all that up. I'll give you a quick rundown on my indoor greenhouse. It's nothing special. It's special to me because it's Jim's Holiest Coleus, but I'll shoot you out a video. Until then, I want to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, and enjoy the holidays, and we'll see you in the next video. Take care, everybody, and again, follow Jim's Holiest Coleus. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber. As you can see, I have a couple of other interests. I love cars, motorcycles. I have a Corvette. I shoot a couple of videos out there for fun, showing how I restored my Corvette over a season. But if not, if you're a Coleus fan, that's it. Then follow along. There'll be more videos to come. All right, everybody, again, happy Thanksgiving. Enjoy the holidays, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, everybody.